what's up, guys and gals? This is Derek M. Cook. This is Monster Kid Radio. This is episode number 65. And you know what? Last week was the Monster Kid Radio crash event at the Hollywood Theater for Santo versus the Mummies. At least that's how it was billed in the program. Turns out the movie was actually Santo versus Las Momias de Guanajuato, or the Mummies of Guanajuato. This was not the first time I had seen the film, but it was the first time I saw it on the big screen. And you know what? This week's episodes of Monster Kid Radio is just going to feature what happened at the crash. In this episode, you're pretty much going to get a play-by-play of everything that happened before and after the movie. And then in a couple of days, you're going to hear the panel that we recorded after the movie. I'm excited for this week's episode, so we're going to kick this off with a song, and then we'll get right into things.
Buenas noches. ¿Dónde está mi perrito? No está en mi mano, está en mi carro.
He came out of nowhere, some straight from Mexico, king of the wrestlers, that man of Santos. Both fingers, silver mask, a nifty suit and tie. All know the Santo will give it his best try. The man behind the mask is a mystery to all. His fight never ends, he never will fall. Till you face your life will be changed, 'cause nothing can stop that man of Santo. Butters and the blue demon, the friend of Santo, they fight the evil that threatens Mexico. Dracula and the Wolfman and Frankenstein as well, they all failed 'cause Santo sent them to hell. I can't understand the word of Spanish, but I know that Santo's a friend of God. 'Cause if the evil you face, your life will be safe, 'cause nothing can stop that man of Santo. After ringing Studio B, appears a wrestling pro. After a whipping fit, the winner's Santo. To help the mighty Santo fight all the evil thugs, he looked to the children and shakes with big old jugs. Big old jugs? And wearing a silver mask and driving a cool car and fighting monsters? Could that be the life for me? I wish I could be just like El Santo. 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 Why can't I be just like El Santo?
All right, so I'm hanging out here in the Hollywood Theater. We are getting ready for this fourth Santo film. I'm not sure which one it's going to be. I have suspicions, but it's going to be awesome. And I'm not here alone. Like I told y'all, this was a Monster Kid Radio crash, and there are some listeners here, previous guests on the show. Actually, both these cats have been on the show and before. But you know what? I think when I quiet down, they might be doing something on the stage.
Look behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
So, thank you for coming for these next couple minutes. If you would like a photo opportunity with one of our luchadores, please come up to the stage. We'll take a photo of you, and you can see it on at Facebook/PDX, Fusionarte PDX, okay? And we'll let you know that later on to remind you. But anyway, Mega Boy, raise your hand, Mega Boy. That's Mega Boy. Okay, the guy in the white mask, this is Payaso. Everybody give a round of applause. Payaso does well. All right, everybody, please stand up and take a picture with him. Jorge Rodriguez will take a picture with you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, excuse me, I gotta get my picture taken. Excuse me. All right, so this is the part of the evening when I jumped out of my seat and raced down to the stage to get my picture taken with some luchadores. If you follow me on Facebook, you saw me post the photos. Head over to monsterkidradio.net. You can also see the picture of me with the luchadores in the Flickr album.
Well, I'm with Monster Kid Radio.
Okay.
It's a local podcast here in town about monster movies.
Oh.
So I've got some of my listeners here. We tell everybody about it. So we're trying to bring some people in and do this whole thing. Will you be able to chat with me after the movie?
Yes. Yeah. Awesome. I'm going to be around until the end. We're going to have a panel discussion afterwards. So, but I'll be around, and you just
Well, if I don't connect with you after the movie, I'll drop you a line.
Hey, why don't we move the line over here? The line is to the left of the stage. The left of the stage. I was closer over there. And we also have posters in the lobby for sale for $8. Proceeds go to our student leadership program, and you can get them specially designed by luchadores.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm all over it. I would love to do that.
Yeah. So if I don't connect with you after the movie, I'll drop you an email or whatever. Is that on the card?
That's on the card.
Awesome. When you do the panel discussion, would you mind if I recorded it for my podcast?
Please, yeah, do.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll let the other guys know. They're in media, so they totally get it.
All right, cool. I can't wait for the movie, man. This is going to be awesome.
Thank you so much.
I've never seen a Santo film on the big screen, so it's going to be great.
Yeah, I saw a test of it last week, and it's just ridiculous.
Awesome.
It's so awesome.
Dude, that's cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Tell me your name again. I'm Garrett.
Derek.
All right, that was fun. Where'd everybody go? They're in line?
They're all in line.
Nice.
I am watching everybody's crap.
Do you want to go up?
No, I'm good.
So I'm talking to Ray Jelinek. He's been on the show in brief capacity in the past. And we've got him on deck for a special show that'll launch down the line if we get 50 reviews in the iTunes store. How you doing, Ray?
I'm doing good.
Are you excited?
I am excited.
You've never seen a Santo film?
Nope, this will be my first Santo film, and I'm looking forward to it.
Ever seen a Lucha Libre film?
I have not, no.
Do you have any idea what you're in for?
No. But from what I see on the stage, I can pretty much have a good idea.
So we got 3 luchadors on the stage right now, one in black and white, one in colors, and then a clown-looking dude. You sure you don't want a picture?
No, it's horrifying.
All right, so after the movie, I want to get your thoughts, man. You down for that?
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Awesome. All right, so you got some background noise going, some music playing. I don't know if you can make it out. I can't make it out. At least I don't know what it is. But yeah, I mean, we're sitting here waiting for the movie to start. This is going to be a blast. And you know what? I didn't do it at the very beginning of the show, so this is Monster Kid Radio. You're listening to episode 65 of the podcast devoted to the classic, sometimes not so classic monster movies of yesteryear. And we're talking about Santo this week here on the show, a Lucha Libre film. I believe it's Santo versus the Mummies of Guadalajara. Not 100% sure. We're going to find out as soon as the movie starts. Now, the song you heard at the very beginning of the show is the song El Santo, the Silver Masked Avenger. It's from the Nick Adams. You can find out more about them at thenicadams.com. And that's Adams as in like the science-y type stuff, ATOMS.com. It's from the album In the 25th Century. Why don't you follow the links over in the show notes at monsterkidradio.net to find the Nick Adams and to find out about everything else we've got going on here at the podcast, including our Facebook page, our YouTube page, our Flickr album, our Live 365 channel, and all of that. You'll also find our contact information, monsterkidradio@gmail.com, or our phone number, where you can leave us a voicemail at 503-4795-MKR. We're kind of doing things a little out of order this week on Monster Kid Radio, and that's okay. I mean, we got Mexican wrestlers here in the house. Things are going to get a little crazy. I cannot wait to see the film. And, you know, I'm going to take a break. We're going to insert a promo, maybe do a little break here, and then get back to the show right after this.
Hammer Film Productions began in 1934, and after producing almost 200 films and television programs, the studio is still releasing and re-releasing new and classic film titles. 1951 Downplace is the podcast that brings you the story of the great Hammer films, one movie at a time. Here are your hosts, describing what Hammer means to them. First is Casey.
Hammer means the beautiful and glamorous women of Hammer horror, the engaging storytelling, and amazing period films.
Joining him is Derek.
Hammer means the incredible work of actors like Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, and even Michael Ripper. The gothic storytelling, the incredible music, and the set pieces.
And finally, here's Scott.
Hammer, that's vodka and orange juice.
This boy has a lot to learn. Join our hosts as they make their journey through the Hammer Films catalogue and discuss each film with critical opinion, historical facts, production notes, and other information about these classic films. 1951 Downplace can be found in iTunes or their website, www.1951downplace.com.
Wait, that's a screwdriver.
1951 Downplace, the home of Hammer Films discussion.
That's awesome. You got your picture, right?
Oh, hell yeah. What? Miss having a picture with a bunch of luchadors?
You can't miss out on that.
No, I mean, come on.
All right, so before you sit down, can we chat for a sec? Get out of this way. All right, so Chris McMillan has been on the show in the past from the Shadow over Portland. How's it going, brother man?
Really good. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. Now, before we started recording, I overheard you and Ray talking. You've seen some Santo films, but never on the big screen?
No, I've never seen a Santo film. I saw Victor von Psychotron did a luchador film on his YouTubes, but
Sure.
It was not Santo. And I've heard so much about these. And the fact that this is my first Santo movie in 30 on the big screen, I don't know if it's 35 millimeter or not.
I have no idea.
I don't care.
No.
It's going to be great.
So you've seen some Santo films, just
No.
not big screen, nothing recently?
No, I have not seen Santo. I've seen like one or two luchadors.
Okay, gotcha. I'm just all excited. I'm all
Yes.
Twitter.
Oh, yeah. No, so am I. Because come on, this is Santo. I know.
This is going to be awesome. Now, we were looking at the program. They're doing 3 movies in 3 months. Santo versus the Martians and Santo versus, what was the other one, the Monsters?
The Monsters, yes.
I have no idea what those movies are.
I have no idea, but come on. Masked Mexican wrestlers versus Martians and monsters? I'm there.
Now, he said there's going to be like a little talk after the movie. You're going to stick around for that?
Oh, heck yeah.
Nice.
Oh, of course. How could I resist that?
I'll probably be moving up to get the front row seat for that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Please.
Well, I also want to check in with you after this to see what you thought of the movie. You down for that?
I'm down with it. You bet.
Awesome.
All right, welcome everybody to Cinescopio, our first inaugural season. Thank you very much for being here.
Bueno, primero quiero darle las gracias a todos ustedes por estar aquí. I'm going to be the guy who's going to speak in Spanish.
Y yo voy a ser el hombre que va a hablar en inglés.
Bueno, Fusionarte empieza hace 6 años con un sueño. El sueño fue poder promover el arte y la cultura latina en Portland. La verdad que uno como artista y uno como nuevo en la ciudad necesitas hacer esa conexión con toda la gente, y Fusionarte surge con esa idea, poder conectar con todos ustedes, con todos los artistas, y poder traer lo mejor de Latinoamérica y enseñarlo por medio de películas, por medio de la radio, por medio de todos los programas que estamos organizando ahorita en Fusionarte. Entonces, gracias a Cinescopio nos va a ayudar para poder seguir haciendo nuevos proyectos, como el programa de liderazgo para jóvenes a través del arte, seguir apoyando al radio, seguir haciendo muchos más proyectos, ¿no?
So, Fusionarte started about 6 years ago. Pepe Moscoso had a dream to create a house of culture, you could say. I know my brain is in Spanish-English mode and just can't think straight. But we have a radio show on cable called Fusionarte Radio on Tuesdays at 1:30. And this is Cinescopio, our film series. And every year, we're going to change a theme, and we're going to focus on classic Latin American cinema. with panel discussions and invited special appearances like you saw with the luchadores. This year, we're focusing on lucha libre and because it's something that's very international, very bicultural, and it's really readily, you know when you see a mask, you know what's going on, you know it's kitschy, you know it's fun. So we thought it would be a great way to begin our film series. And all of the funds for this are going towards our student leadership program for Latino students through the arts that we're going to start piloting this spring. And we have some thank yous. So this couldn't have been done without the help of so many of our friends who are in the audience, who are part of organizations that help spread the word for us. And first and foremost, thank you so much to the Hollywood Theater. They've been so gracious. Thank you so much, Hollywood Theater. Doug, Matt, all the other staffers, you've been awesome. Very awesome, very flexible. Thank you so much to our cultural sponsor, El Consulado de Mexico, gracias. Our media sponsor, El Hispanic News, Melanie Davis can't be here tonight because she has another party tonight, but thank you so much to Melanie Davis. Thank you. And our community partners. Latino Network. Latino Network is our fiscal sponsor, so they're going to be working with us as we grow Fusionarte, and we're really grateful to Latino Network, to Lara Media, thank you so much. And I have to say that you need to look out for Lara Media because they're everywhere. They know, and they literally are. You might think they're a nonprofit, but they're actually a business, and they're wonderful people. If you've never spoken to them, speak to them. They'd love to talk to you. They're awesome. Okay, Hispanic Pros, thank you so much. Give it up to Hispanic Pros. Momentum Alliance, Portland Latino Gay Pride. Give it up to Portland Latino Gay Pride. And the luchador, the mask, is the patron saint of Portland Latino Gay Pride, so I think that was really cool. Portland Emergent Arts Leaders, thank you so much for sharing us with your networks. Thank you. And Los Porteños, a Spanish Latino writers group that's housed at Milagro, and La Bonita. La Bonita! Me! And of course, thank you so much to the Multnomah County Cultural Participation Grants and the Oregon Cultural Trust for supporting us and making this possible. Thank you so much, Oregon Trust. ¿Qué más? Oh, yes. El panel. So the movie's going to start in a minute. When it's done, grab a drink, maybe some more popcorn, and we're going to begin the panel discussion with special guests, John Cardenas from PBC and producer at the New York International Latino Film Festival. And he's joined by Enrique Caicero, the sports guy on Univision and Mundo Fox. Anything else? Oh, and these Lucha Libre posters, aren't they cool? Okay, the guy who made this is the photographer who was taking pictures of you up here. His name is Jorge Rodriguez. Give him a round of applause. And you see this tie? This tie has got luchador masks on it, made by our one and only Pepe Moscoso. Thank you, Pepe. Proceeds of these posters and the ties will go to our leadership program, so please pick them up on your way out. Anything else, Pepe? Eso de empezar. Thank you so much. Before we go, our February show is going to be Santo contra los Marcianos. Santo versus the Martians. And then March 20th is going to be Santo versus, I have it here, the Monsters. Santo Blue Demon and versus the Monsters. You know, when you Google these films, they have like 10 different titles. But anyway, that's our lineup for this season. Thank you so much. Un abrazo, and let the movie begin.
Entonces a Guadalajara. Vamos, mira, vamos.
All right, you guys, thank you so much. Was that awesome or what? Thank you all in the theater. Thank you to our sponsors and community partners. And we'll be here in 2 minutes with John Cardenas and Henry Caicedo for a panel discussion about lucha libre. We'll see you in 2 minutes. Thank you. Next month, February 20th, is our next film, Santo versus the Martians, and we will have masks for sale. All right?
Y recuerden, búsquenos en Fusionarte PDX, toda la información está ahí para todas las personas que nos estén, si quieren seguirnos, por favor, conéctense con nosotros en Facebook.
And all the photos that we're taking earlier today, you can go to Facebook/PDX, Facebook/Fusionarte PDX.
Well, I'm here until the end, so if you want to do this after the panel.
Well, I just want to get initial thoughts.
Oh, okay.
Initial thoughts.
Oh, heck. Awesome. Just, campy fun. I've never seen a movie where the whole point of the movie is to watch the wrestlers go after monsters. That's just awesome.
And Ray?
Honestly, I enjoyed it much more than I thought I was going to.
You had doubts?
I did have doubts. Although, yeah, it was awesome. I kept thinking to myself, though, being a metalhead, though, I kept thinking, wow, early Slipknot.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a very entertaining movie. I look forward to seeing Santos versus the Martians in February.
Oh, definitely.
So we had Santo, we had Blue Demon, and we had Mil M&aacute.
Yeah.
Which of the three were your favorite in this film? We'll start with Chris.
Oh, it's got to be Santo, because he doesn't even show up until the last, 10 minutes of the movie. He just looks awesome with the silver cape and his convertible. And then walks in and's got flame guns in his front seat. That's the guy. That's the man.
Okay, right?
I liked Man with 1,000 Masks.
Yeah.
He was my favorite because it was like a scene change in a Broadway show. Every new scene, he had a new mask.
Yes.
And it was awesome.
I would have to say Mil M&aacute is my favorite as well. I know I love Santo and I love Blue Demon, but Mil M&aacute, the multiple masks, and he was the most physical of the three, I thought.
Yeah, and not only that, it wasn't just masks. The entire costume changed. My God.
And the animal print trunks is what sold it for me.
Yeah. The capes, too. The capes at the end, that was like the final key sequences. All three of them had capes. And they didn't take the time to pose. They just threw the capes on, boom, there they were,
Wasn't it, I loved the bit where he takes his cape off and he twirls it around. That was awesome. My God, that really was. Although, I'm sorry, Santo and flame guns just trumps that.
That's true.
The flame guns were awesome. Yeah, at first I was like, he's got guns? Why didn't they use it in the beginning? But then when they brought them out and they were flamethrowers, I was like, yes.
What about Blue Demon's boots, though? The random... what was that, a bullet? I don't understand what just happened there.
I don't know. I don't know if they were supposed to be flame boots or
I think it was smoke screen boots. Smoke screen boots.
Something to that effect. But they didn't... The one thing the issue I have with the movie, which I can't believe I have an issue with this movie, but they didn't resolve anything with Satan.
That's for the sequel.
That must be, because they didn't... There was, everybody just... died in the flames.
I guess flame guns beat Satan every time. I don't know.
I suppose. I figured there would be one climactic battle between.
I was
Santo
looking forward to that when the film went on after the flame gun sequence, I was like, oh, they've got to get in the ring.
There should have been.
Didn't.
Right. That would have been the key. The pinnacle final scene would have been the final battle in the ring.
There should have been. There should have been a final scene.
Other than that, great movie.
What about the makeup of the mummies? Did you like how they explained that only their faces are decomposed?
Yeah, everything else, we don't know why they all look perfect except for their faces. It's okay, though.
So we don't have to do the makeup. That's why.
Exactly. Well, I mean, come on. These guys start beating each other up. How well do you think makeup would have held up to that?
I know, right? I love this movie, man. I've seen this before, but it's been about 1.5 years, 2 years, and I forgot about the flamethrower pistols. And I forgot about the whole, I'm not your real dad, you know that, right? With Blue Demon's adopted son. I forgot about that. Yeah.
There's a whole Dick Grayson type shadowing there.
Yeah, but it was kind of cute in a way. They made it actually heartwarming.
Yeah.
You know, despite the corny dialogue, because it really was funny. They just still made it nice. They made it cute.
It was touching and heartwarming.
Yeah. I think another key for this, too, is seeing it on a big screen. I don't think this would have been as entertaining on watching it on a small screen at home or anything.
Well, the last time when I saw it, I've seen it once before. It was on a small screen, and it was fun because I knew what I was going to get into. But as a crowd-type movie, I think that's what sold it.
Oh, yeah, the crowd.
Much more crowd participation than I was expecting.
We cheered at the wrestling matches. Come on.
I mean, yeah, you have to. It's almost mandatory when you walk in the theater. You will cheer at the wrestling scenes.
Definitely a POV movie.
All right, in 30 seconds, we're going to have John Cardenas and Henry Caicedo up at the stage.
I think that's my cue.
If you'd like to move up in front, please do.
And as I mentioned earlier, that panel you're going to hear in a couple of days, so stay tuned. Okay, so we're talking about blowtorch pistols. And Ray and Chris said they made an observation. I wanted to get it on the show.
Well, what we were talking about was the sound effects were very like early video game stuff.
Uh-huh.
Like either the early arcade stuff or even the home stuff like the Sega or the Super Nintendo or even the Nintendo.
I had flashbacks to, I think it was Streets of Rage I had for the Genesis, where you'd hear this whack, whack, and it was the same effect over and over, and that was what was going on in the ring, and I'm just like, oh, this is just so many shades of awesome, because it was just like being a kid again playing this game. Yeah, wow.
And then it seemed like everybody's signature move, that was one thing I failed to mention earlier, everybody's signature move from Santos and all the guys, all the mummies, was the hand slap. They knocked you down with a slap to the head.
Yep.
I mean, there wasn't any elbow smash or, just dual elbow smash. It was just slap.
There were a couple of Captain Kirk karate chops in there. I saw that.
There was a couple.
And there were a couple of nice little scissor takedowns there, too,
Right.
Dual
scissors.
Yeah.
Courtesy of Mil M&aacute, of course, because the man of 1,000 masks.
And 1,000 costumes. My God.
Neil Diamond meets Lucha Libre.
You're talking about the sound, and we were joking. I want that music. It'll never happen. But I would love for there to be a soundtrack album of this type of music, because it's so goofy, hopped up on something ice cream truck style type music.
It reminded me of the old pizza place they used to have in Vancouver with a big pipe organ.
They had one down in Portland over on 82nd called the Organ Grinder.
Yeah.
It's now a Chinese restaurant, but yeah, they had the same
and
big
it just sounded like that sort of music. That's
exactly.
Great.
And it just went on and on and on at the beginning, and I'm leaning over. I gotta have that on my phone, man.
The bad edits, a couple of the bad film edits where the car was way back and then all of a sudden it scooped forward.
Or where you saw the cameraman's hand on the windshield of the convertible as they're filming the bus behind them.
Yeah. Just little things. I mean, you figure it's 1971. It's Mexico. They're not known for cinematography. So,
But, it looked good. I mean, it was fine. It worked. I mean, it's a low-budget movie, and you make allowances, but you still sort of snicker at it.
You go for
it's
the entertainment value. You're not going for the realism.
And, boy, this one really delivered that.
We didn't see any boom mic drops. I mean, that's a positive thing,
So the size of the ring. Was that a huge wrestling ring? That looked huge to me.
It looked bigger than what I've pictured in other movies, like $1 Million Baby. Those were much smaller rings. This was huge.
Not being much of a wrestling fan, I really couldn't tell, but it certainly was bigger than like a boxing ring, I think.
Yeah.
And boy, they could really run around in that thing.
Doing laps.
So the two white guys that they're fighting.
Oh, yeah.
We never got their names. They never even got the courtesy of a subtitle. That tells us whose movie this is.
Oh,
I don't even think they were in the credits, were they?
Who knows?
It didn't even say unknown wrestlers,
No, it was
With those awesome furry vests.
Yeah, it was just two guys to beat up on here.
A couple jobbers beat them up a little bit. That ring had no give whatsoever, man. And they were talking on the panel, which you guys are going to hear on the next episode, about how they had to have a little extra padding to take the hit. Man, those guys, the Lucha Libre wrestlers, those are some badass,
There's a couple of scenes in that first match where people are actually getting thrown out of the ring. And, you can tell there's no give on the mat. There's no give on the concrete floor. It's gonna hurt.
They were nursing bruises after however many takes it took to film those scenes.
Yeah, you can say how staged it was, but my God, those guys really did take a pounding.
I'll tell you, the ones that had the better deal were the mummies. The ones that had like the suit coats on over their whatever costumes they were wearing.
And they at least had the mummy mask on to soften those blows to the head.
I love the mummy makeups, but those masks. When Satan is breathing, you can see like the face is
sucked in,
just pulsing back and forth like an old Halloween mask.
Although it did work well, there was one scene where he turns and his eye kind of bulges out because of it, and it's like, wow, that really looks cool.
Well, the one scene that Chris missed earlier in the movie was when Satan first appeared to this couple making out at the bench, and they go running away, and he just gets this like disgruntled and then walks away the opposite direction.
I almost felt like the director said cut, and the actor / wrestler is like, okay. But the editor wasn't paying attention, so they just let it run to the end of the tape.
Yeah, that could have easily been that.
And had you ever thought in your life that you would ever utter a sentence like you just uttered right now, when Satan appears to the couple making out at the bench?
No, never. Until now. I may have to reuse it at a later time. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, you have to keep that in your repertoire.
All right, so this is El Santo, Mil M&aacute, and Blue Demon signing off. We'll be back next month for the next one, I think, right?
I'll be here.
I'll definitely be here.
Yeah, okay. Can I be Mil M&aacute?
You go right ahead.
All right. You guys can fight over Blue Demon and El Santo. So.
I'll show up as Santos.
There you go. I can do Blue Demon.
Just remember, you're not his real dad.
Oh, God. Really?
So much.
He loves me anyway.
Oh, so fun. Big thanks to Ray Jelinek and Chris McMillan for joining me for the Monster Kid Radio Crash and appearing on mic to talk a little bit about the movie beforehand and afterwards. If you can't tell, man, this was so much fun. I hate to keep rubbing it in for any listeners who aren't in the Portland, Oregon area, but if you are anywhere near Portland next month for the next one, man, stay tuned to Monster Kid Radio to find out more about the next one. When we find out more, you'll find out more. If you're anywhere near the area, you gotta come out. You gotta join us. Ray, Chris, and I are still coasting on the excitement that we got from just watching the movie and having so much fun with the crowd. It was a real treat to see this movie. So big thanks to Fusion Art, which I'm probably mispronouncing a little bit because I can't roll my R's. But big thanks to Fusion Art for bringing this movie in and launching the Cinescopio series at the Hollywood Theater. Next time around, you're going to hear the panel that I recorded after the movie. It features John Cardenas and Enrique Kaziro. Now, again, probably mispronounced their names. You're going to have to come back in a couple of days to hear the panel and hear how you actually pronounce their names for yourself. I'm excited to share the panel with you guys and gals. Talks a little bit about the movie, talks about the cultural importance of Lucha Libre, these films, talks a little bit about wrestling, talks about the monsters. It's just a great time that I was fortunate enough to record for everybody. They had no problem with me sharing the panel with everyone, so 2 days, come back for that. Monster Kid Radio is a registered service mark of Monster Kid Radio LLC. All original content of Monster Kid Radio by Monster Kid Radio LLC is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives 3.0 Unported license. Of course, that does not apply to the song El Santo, the Silver Masked Avenger. It appears on the album In the 25th Century and is on this episode of Monster Kid Radio with the permission of the band, the Nick Adams. Follow the link in the show notes to find their website and listen to all their music for the next 2 days, because remember, 2 days from now, we got the panel from the Hollywood Theater and the Monster Kid Radio Crash. Talk to you in a couple of days.
Buenas noches. ¿Dónde está mi perrito? No está en mi mano, está en mi carro.
Of nowhere, some say from Mexico, king of the wrestlers, that man of Santos, holding a silver mask, a nifty suit and tie, all know the Santo will give it his best try. The man behind the mask is a mystery to all, his fight never ends, he never will fall. The evil you face, your life will be changed, cause nothing can stop that man of Santo. And the blue demon, the friend of Santo, they fight the evil that threatens Mexico. Dracula and the Wolfman and Frankenstein as well, they all failed cause Santo sent them to hell. I can understand the word of Spanish, but I know that Santo's a friend of justice. The evil you face, your life will be safe, cause nothing can stop that man of Santo. After ringing Studio B, appears a wrestling pro after a whipping fit. Hey! The winner's Santo, to help the mighty Santo fight all the evil thugs. He looked to the children and shakes with big old jugs. Big old jugs? And wearing a silver mask and driving a cool car and fighting monsters? Could that be the life for me? I wish I could be just like El Santo! Just like El Santo! Just like El Santo, just like El Santo, just like El Santo. Why can't I be just like El Santo?